Sadia shows Mondays and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. right here on TV3. Don't miss it. And it's brought to you by Melcom, where Ghana shops. MTN, everywhere you go.
Eloxy Paint.
Sanitary pad.
Origin Zero.
Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. Mixi Choco, Chane Hot.
Solak Herbal Mixture.
Your Saturdays and Sundays got more exciting. Football Live, CBFM 92.7.
Matter!
Get action-packed updates of major leagues across Europe, Saturdays and Sundays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on CBFM 92.7. It's Football Live, brought to you by Betieto. CBFM 92.7, fair and square.
Great pace about it and an excellent finish.
(10 p.m. here in Accra, 12 midnight in Harare, Zimbabwe. My name is Bright Nana Amfo, bringing you news at 10 on TV3. First, a quick look at our top stories for tonight. And beginning from here, 12 unlicensed drug dealers have been rounded up for producing and distributing herbal concoctions, unlicensed and unapproved drugs at a Shaiman in the Greater Accra region. The joint operation by the Food and Drugs Authority, the police, judges and the media followed months of surveillance. Large quantities of assorted herbal concoctions and unlicensed drugs were also retrieved in the nearly 2-hour operation here in Accra. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has vowed to work towards ensuring all bottlenecks hindering the smooth acquisition of passports in Ghana are dealt with. Shelley Ayoko-Botwe, who paid an unannounced visit to the passport office in Accra, revealed government's resolve to review the duration of the expiration of passports from 5 to 10 years. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has reinstated with immediate effect the suspended Upper West Regional Minister Alhaji Suleman. This follows the completion of police investigations into the attack on the Upper West NADMO offices in Wa in that region. That attack led to the suspension of the minister. As well as the President Akufo-Addo says government will partner labor to promote an effective and efficient labor force to enhance national development. Swearing in a 7-member board of the National Labor Commission at the Jubilee House, the President charged them to be neutral and impartial in resolving disputes at the labor front. If you're watching us from Wa in the Upper West region, if you're watching us from Bolaga in the Upper East region, if you're watching us from Kofodia in the Eastern region, this is News at 10. Let's start from the Western region, precisely Takwa. A robbery suspect who attempted to escape from police custody while being transported to court Friday morning has been shot dead in Takwa in the Western region. Identified only as Kobe, also known as Nana, the man was among 5 persons implicated and arrested in the last Sunday's robbery incident at Platte and Plume Gold Refinery at Bokoso that led to the killing of the police officer Lance Corporal Nicholas Duku. The robbers were said to have made away with 900,000 Ghana cedis and abandoned their vehicle a Nissan Rogue with registration number GE41116. The vehicle was later found at Pristia Huni Valley District. We'll be talking about this particular issue, but concerns have been raised as to how come a suspect in police custody could be shot dead attempting to escape and not immobilized. Now, let's get to Skype and speak to a security analyst, Adam Buna. He is raising concerns about this and the frequent shooting of suspected criminals dead by the police. Just joining me. Good evening, sir. Grateful for your time with us.
Good evening, and good evening to your cherished viewers. Yeah.
So your concern is that the suspect is in the grips of the police, and yet we're told that he attempted to escape and he was shot dead. You're amazed at how that could happen. Is that your worry?
Yes, exactly. Once again, good evening, and good evening to your cherished listeners. I think I would want to congratulate the Upper West Regional Minister for his reinstatement. I think it's a good thing the president did. Yes, I am amazed, and the reason is that there are protocols when it comes to policing, and this is not just limited to Ghana.
Right.
It is alleged that he was part of the armed robbery case that took place in Takwa, where they snatched almost 1 million Ghana cedis, and that involved firearm, and they actually, discharged the firearm, and the police officer unfortunately died. Condolences to the family. And so one would have thought that such a person, there are protocols you follow when you have to take the person to a particular crime scene or where they are hiding the booty, as the police attempted to do. I mean, you buckle that there is, either the top-down approach or the down-up approach, where you buckle the person, both ankles using a chain, and then you use handcuffs, and then there is a waist, you buckle the person up in the waist. So that it becomes difficult for the person to flee if you take the person to, that supposed crime scene, or when you get there and, you have a reprisal attack from, persons who are probably waiting and, have laid ambush to get you. But I think some of these things were not followed. And so I am suspecting the police sometimes treat some of these cases as if though these persons are, thieves. Thieves are supposed to be treated differently from people who, are armed and suspected to might have committed a particular crime. And so it is very worrying, because if indeed he was part of the gang that robbed the police, the gold, the refinery company, and one of their colleagues actually fell, one would have expected that they would do a diligent job by investigating this and making sure that everyone who is connected to this crime is brought to book. But unfortunately, already one person is gone. And so it is, and it's not just that case. We've had incidents where police officers themselves, I think, friendly fire, they went to a crime scene, and one of the suspects tried fleeing. They tried shooting him, and I think somehow they shot one of their own colleagues. And so it's worrying. Right.
You are alleging negligence.
That is, I think the whoever is in charge in Takwa needs to be brought to book. That person has a lot of questions to answer. First of all, if you go through the story that broke from Takwa, you have 900,000 Ghana cedis. That's almost 1 million.
Right.
Needs to be carried from the gold refinery company to a bank or to a location. And you send one police officer to go and police this money. And also, you are looking at the place has a lot of workers. And so I think there are so many things that doesn't add up. And so I would have wished that I know the IGP and his team would probably have to investigate this a bit better because it is worrying. I mean, already a police officer is dead. We have one of the suspects also dead. What are we expecting to see again from that place? It's worrying. We can't live in a country like that.
We seem to be hearing of these, either policemen gunned down on the line of duty or suspect gunned down. Now, how do we deal with it? Who has to take the first step?
I think the first step has to be on the part of the police training school. You know, the Queen's Regimental Police used to be police force. Now we have it as a service. But unfortunately, that transformation never took place from a force to a service. And so when you go to the police training school, the training is, you know, still that regimental attitude where, you know, instead of being a bit civil with dealing with some of these issues, they want to use brute force. But 21st century policing, if you attempt to use brute force, you would fail. If you go to America, America has largely, you know, the police in America has always been in the news because of the use of firearms and all that. And so I think that the training regime has to be looked at, where police officers would be taught how to deal with civilians. And so we would also have the rapid response team who are trained to deal with, the SWAT team, they are trained to deal with, firearms. But it looks like every police officer, you see them mimicking the military. The mentality of the military is different from the mentality of how a police service should look like. But we have our police officers, some of them trying to mimic the military. The military, they are trained to fight. But when it comes to the police, they are trained to deal with conflict, to deal with civilians who would come to them for help. But unfortunately, a police officer sometimes will stop you. And innocently, you would ask him a question, and he asks you, who dare you ask me this question or ask me that question? But I would go, I wouldn't blame them. I would say we have to interrogate the training regime and also ask the administration, the government, to put in a lot of resources. I know a lot of resources has been put in and there are resources on its way coming. But we would urge that a lot of resources goes into, the way our police officers are trained, because I think the trend is quite worrying.
Finally, in this particular situation where the alleged robber escapes and is shot dead, what action precisely has to be taken?
Well, usually the trend internationally, I mean, should have been the, crime scene investigators would have to go, ballistics, those who are into, they have to go in and check what happened and do forensic investigation. But we are expecting the police to do due diligence, go in there, try to investigate. I would have wished that, I mean, you don't shoot the upper torso. You go in for the leg or, somewhere that you don't have the organs where you put a bullet and the person dies. And so at the moment, we are told the person was shot, but we don't know, was he shot in the thigh? Was he shot in the leg? These are, I mean, you want to immobilize the person so that you can, take full custody of the person. And so we need to wait and see. But I am hoping that by Monday or by tomorrow, the police administration would send a team to Takwa, because I think that the processes leading to how the police officer was shot dead, I am not too happy with it. Also, subsequently, we've had one of the suspects being shot dead. It means that there's a problem in Takwa that needs to be looked at seriously. Okay.
I'm grateful for your time with us. Adam Buna is a security analyst talking to us about that incident in Takwa in the Western region. A robbery suspect who attempted to escape from police custody shot dead. This is News at 10. Stay with us. When we're back, we'll have more.
We all wish to have the perfect balance between work and the people that matter most to us.
So, we are always on the quest to find ways to make this possible. With the many innovative and dynamic features that the UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed Up, offers, you get the time-saving convenience to help create this balance. You can transfer money, pay bills, apply for a loan, invest money, and do so much more right on your phone with the UMB mobile banking app. So, you can spend more time with those that matter most to you. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed Up, lets you bank conveniently anywhere and everywhere so that you can enjoy more time with those that you love and doing what you love most. We're good to go. UMB Speed Up, Digibank, let's go!
And too many power and fear doom watching. And says I pay for no. I will drinking spots beer.
And don't go bitters. A demufua.
To every story, there's a deeper meaning, a host of angles, which, when reported with the highest ethics of journalism, bring out the perspectives that matters most to you. That's what News 360 is all about. I seek to climb higher, dig deeper, and go further to bring you 360 degrees of the news and what happens thereafter. I'm Natalie Fort. Join me on News 360 every weekday at 7 p.m.
Mama, you're amazing.
She is motivational. She makes you optimistic. She calms your tensions. Always there to help you, embracing you with love. She is real. She is a mother. She is selfless. Selfless mother.
Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3newsgh for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3newsgh and at 3sportsgh. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
In 2013, we shaped the course of national policy with compelling stories on education and health. In 2016, we provided the platform for political parties and the socially excluded to engage on issues of national concern. TV3 Mission is back with a bang. We navigate the turbulent terrain of deprived and hard-to-reach communities.
To one message for person access to teaching, empowering women to they provide about.
We focus our sharp lenses on the health and educational needs of the socially excluded to influence policy interventions that promote inclusiveness.
And it tells you how serious
will get you resolved. Mission Ghana, live on News 360. Mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, DFID, and the European Union.
There are lots of amazing stories out there. What we do on News 360 is to bring to you the most compelling news by teasing out the right pieces that bring the stories to life. My job is to present to you the news in the most gripping manner and asking the critical questions that bring out the needed detail out of the stories. My name is Alfred Okansi. Join me on News 360, Monday through to Friday, 7 p.m. on air and online only on TV3.
All right, thanks so much for staying there. This is News at 10. Now, let's get to Ashaiman here in the Greater Accra region. Now, 12 unlicensed drug dealers have been rounded up for producing and distributing herbal concoctions, unlicensed and unapproved drugs at Ashaiman. The joint operation by the FDA, the police, judges, and the media followed months of surveillance. Peter Kwa Adato reports large quantities of assorted herbal concoctions and unlicensed drugs were also retrieved in a nearly 2-hour operation.
It was part of a 5-day training on pharmaceutical crime, investigations and intelligence organized by the Food and Drugs Authority for the judiciary, security agencies and the media. It aimed at exposing participants to the realities and difficulties in enforcing the drug laws.
No problem.
6 teams took part in the operation at the Ashaiman main market and Ashaiman Zongo based on intelligence. 12 unlicensed drug dealers were picked at their various distribution points during the 2-hour operation. This Mali national walked into the team at Ashaiman Zongo with his assorted drugs and other unapproved products and was arrested. The 13th target, who is the manufacturer of a herbal concoction, however escaped arrest as he had left his home, which doubled as the production house ahead of the team's arrival. Large quantities of assorted herbal substances, aphrodisiac and other unapproved drugs were also seized at the end of the exercise. Both the seized drugs and the suspected dealers were taken to the FDA head office for processing.
Before you can deal in pharmaceuticals, there are certain criteria that you have to meet. One of them is to get a license from Pharmacy Council. The second one is to make sure that all products that you sell are registered by the Food and Drugs Authority. But what do you see here? All manner of traders dealing in all manner of drugs. Most of these drugs are not registered by the Food and Drugs Authority. And for that matter, we think it is our duty to rid them of the market.
Some of the suspects have been sharing their experience with the media.
For me, the person who surprised me is about, let's say, 2 years now. It is only snuff and then fever mixture, and the fever mixture has got finished. Even the one who is producing it has expired.
So what we see there is what?
It's ordinary water that is in. You can check it right now. Ordinary water.
And what does it cure?
No, I put it there for example, because normally people will be asking of it. If you come, I'll tell you that the medicine itself has got finished.
Both the suspects and the exhibits will be handed over to the police for further investigation and prosecution.
Ashaiman here in the Greater Accra region. In other stories, the president of the Chefs Association of Ghana is calling on government to invest in drawing up a recipe book that will carry on the legacy of indigenous local cuisine. Chef Isaac Saki maintains the situation where local recipes are orally handed down to the next generation is detrimental to the preservation of Ghana's food heritage.
Speaking on the sidelines of the association's chef cookout competition, Chef Isaac was of the view very little attention has been paid to the culinary industry by means of bridging the gap between industry and formal education.
We have the courses in the school, but the equipment is what we don't have in the country. And the course content also in the school doesn't help us. If today I said, okay, I want to further my education or I want to upgrade myself in the country, there's no course for me as a professional chef.
The World Association of Chefs Societies is a global network of chefs associations first founded in October 1928. But Ghana only became a member early this year. The president added that of the many challenges bedeviling the industry, lack of requisite professional training for chefs is major.
Day in and out, we are talking of importation of staff and everything. Because we don't have the people, the hotels in the industry are finding it difficult to get the right people, especially chefs to train. We can't just promote our cuisine without the generation. So we need to develop a recipe book using local content for our students to be used. For we, the Chefs Association, we are ready. We just need partnership from government.
The vice president of the association, Chef Joe, says the perception and stereotypes surrounding the culinary professions made it an undesirable option for young people.
When I wanted to become a chef, I wanted to cook. My father was like, hell no, a boy child will never cook. People think once you hold a knife, you cut the onion and you grind the pepper, you are silly, in quotes. Cooking is a thing that you need to be really brilliant and intelligent to do and do it well. We're saying that we're not just eating Ghana, we're saying let's...
A campaign rolled out by the Tourism Ministry to promote the patronage and consumption of local cuisine. The cooking competition aims to help identify talented chefs from various areas who could represent Ghana at international events soon.
Now, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says government will partner labor to promote an effective and efficient labor force to enhance national development. Swearing in a 7-member board of the National Labour Commission at the Jubilee House in Accra, the president charged them to be neutral and impartial in resolving disputes at the labour front.
At all times.
Well and truly.
Well and truly.
President Akufo-Addo charged the 7-member board chaired by Andrew Kwabena Asamoah to ensure sanity and tranquility on the labour front to enhance productivity and growth.
You have been chosen to discharge these functions because of your impartiality and integrity. Do not disappoint your well-wishers, which includes me. You have to familiarize yourself with all the details and the rules of procedure that are set out in the regulations, and make sure that at all times you work in conformity with these provisions. That is what will guarantee the credibility of any decisions and awards that you make in the discharge of your functions.
Board Chairman of the National Labour Commission, Andrew Kwabena Asamoah, promised to ensure a united labour front.
I pledge that the Commission will do its utmost to ensure that the government, the labour force, and all other stakeholders will work assiduously to sustain a peaceful and harmonious relationship.
The President would administer.
The Youth Employment Agency is to post 15,000 community protection personnel to the various communities across the country. They have received 3 weeks of training in criminal intelligence and traffic management from the Ghana Police Service. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who spearheaded the program, is confident their recruitment will reduce crime in the communities.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was elated about the measurable contributions of the YEA management for training the personnel. They are to serve as community protection personnel to assist operations of the Ghana Police Service. The Vice President is confident their recruitment will address the unemployment situation in the country.
It is expected that this program will improve the police-to-citizen ratio of the country. Beneficiaries of the program have been selected across the country to assist the police in this regard. We expect that the program will help reduce the crime levels in the country.
He again recalled government's policies which have so far propelled growth in the economy.
We've established the Zongo Development Fund. We've established development authorities. One village, one dam will be launched in a few weeks. We have doubled the capitation grant. We have established the Office of the Special Prosecutor for Corruption, digital property addressing system. And this month, the National Identification Card system will be rolled out.
Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Ewua, spoke about rolling out new job opportunities for the youth in the coming months.
The agency, in collaboration with the National Vocational Training Institute, NVTI, will resume the Trades and Vocations model. This model will be accompanied by an artisan directory which will serve as a platform and virtual store for trained craftsmen and women to ply their trade.
In all, 15,000 community protection personnel were trained nationwide by the Ghana Police Service for a period of 3 weeks. They were taken through democratic principles, communication skills and basic policing, terrorism, criminal intelligence gathering, and traffic management were also part of the 3 weeks training. So far, 13,114 people have been trained nationwide under the community protection personnel model, with Greater Accra alone training 931. These personnel have been offered a 2-year contract, which is subject to a post-performance review for them to be transferred into the mainstream police service. Those who displayed a dint of hard work were awarded.
Right, and that's how we're wrapping up the show for tonight. Thanks so much. If you stay there to be part of the show, and of course to my technical team in here, Stephen Netty, 9 pence, my cameraman, of course, Theophilus Clotti, my son Ben Mensah, Gilbert Mensah, and Akosua Jaffo. The show was put together by Isaac Amekos, studio director Richard Bruce Lamptey. My name is Bright Nanamfo. Have a good night, but stay right here on TV3. Good night.
This Sunday on Talented Kids.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be. If you think that the leave just God for me, Sana ya menya kupodi yao. Eshi wana wakuma, nenya usikao. Ekiso I don't wanna wait for your love.
Catch the next episode of the biggest kids reality show in GH this Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on TV3.
Talented Kids is brought to you by
Cowbell,
Indomie,
Bologna, Luxy Paint, Sandra Ice Cream,
Royal Drinks,
First Bank Financial Services,
and Mackerel, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
British Columbia College, Time Herbal Mixture.
Next on Sadia.
Jamal, the company's in red. Where are you getting all this money from that you're gambling with? Or did you take more from Don Pedro than we know?
I bet it's not all your enemies that you know, Giselle.
Jimmy and Don Pedro combined. I assure you, sis, we'll bury them. Now that I'm back, we'll strike again.
You haven't heard of me yet. Go to my campus and ask of Tasha. I'm going to tear off that cloth of yours.
Do it if you're a man. Do it.
Sadia shows Mondays and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. right here on TV3. Don't miss it. And it's brought to you by Malcolm, where Ghana shops. MTN, everywhere you go.
Luxy Paint.
Sanitary pad. I'm a
Origin Zero.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Mixi Choco, Chane Hot.
Solak Herbal Mix.